evening, our viewers, and welcome to another episode of your daily show Achievements. I'm your host, Abdulatif Lanizi, and I have with me my colleague, Fatma Al-Hajri. Good evening, Fatma.
Good evening, Abdulatif, and good evening, dear viewers. This is your show Achievements, where we talk about different topics with different guests. Stay tuned after this report.
A successful identity is built on things a person has done. Your most important accomplishments are a very important way for you to measure your success. Colleagues, competitors, and the general public can look at a person's achievements to figure out how successful they are. Most of the time, putting in a lot of work pays off. Most people think a successful life is one of a lot of things to be proud of. When you finish a task, you win over problems or other people. Achieve means to work together to reach a hard and challenging goal. Everyone should be ready to help out and work together if they need to. There are many ways to reach your goal, but in the end, it's up to you to decide how it will pay out in your life. In their careers, some people want to get rich and will be well known. Some people think that even small victories are reasons to have a party. We are all different, so we all have our own thoughts on everything. In the end, though, everyone wants to be happy, and everything you do in life will help you to get closer to that ultimate goal.
Welcome back, our dear viewers. Tonight we have with us an extraordinary guest. He is known as a diver, off-road car modifier, and a kite surfer as well. To achieve what he has already achieved, you have to be brave and fearless. Please welcome with us our guest tonight, Mr. Mohammed Zamil. Welcome, Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Fatma.
It's our pleasure.
Yes, welcome, Mohammed, and thank you for being here with us at the show.
Thank you for having me.
We are so glad. Mohammed, obviously you have too many talents. Yeah, can you tell us how did that start and your early steps on that field?
Yeah, it started when I was young, way back then. I was too energetic. I couldn't stand sitting there still in one place for more than a few minutes. So I kept moving here and there, tried to mess with a lot of things since I was a kid. I'm talking earlier that I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. I wasn't, my parent wasn't able to control me, as in not touching this or not trying that. I tried.
Too many energy.
Yeah, exactly. So then from there, it took me a lot of steps to go to try new things every now and then and try if I like it or not.
Of course. So he was a curious person as a
Exactly.
child.
It's a special thing.
Yeah,
It's a special thing.
it's got me into a lot of trouble since I tried to open a lot of electronic stuff since I was young. So
you got maybe electrocuted many times.
Not electrocuted, but when my father went to watch a match on the TV, he was wondering why the TV wasn't starting. So it was because of me going in the back, having the screwdriver and trying to open it and see what's inside the TV. So he didn't know that I opened the TV, I looked at it up, and then I figured, hey, why shouldn't I close it back? And then
And no one would find out.
Yeah,
Of course, that way you would stay out,
yeah,
out
exactly.
of trouble.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a sign of a smart person.
I wish to hope
You're
that.
curious
Yeah.
to know more information about the
Exactly.
things that surround you.
Yeah, exactly.
But have you ever maybe go to the roof and destroy the satellite maybe for the TV?
Did you do that?
No.
No, I didn't.
But one of the things, I took a car key once and put it in the plug and came to my parents with burned hair because I got electrocuted. That's how much I was curious.
At the time, at that accident, especially, how old are you?
I think about 3.
3 years old.
Yeah, somewhere
Oh,
that.
that-
To be honest, I can't remember anything about it, but it's something that both my parents agreed on, and they gave me the exact story. Every single time I ask about it, they gave me exactly the same details. So I know it wasn't like science fiction or anything. It was an actually true story for me when I was younger.
It's really fun story to know at the start of the interview.
Yeah.
So getting back to the field of your achievements in general.
Right.
So you are diver,
Yes.
kite surfer.
Yes.
And you have also many things else.
Yeah,
Car modifier and also way many different
yeah,
things.
exactly.
But we want to focus on that three.
Yep.
So
Sure.
on that three, getting back to it, how did it start to have this many of hobbies and achievements?
As I said, I couldn't stay on one thing for a long time. So every time that, for example, let's take the diving, for instance. Diving is the kind of sport that you can't practice it, or it's not about you can't, it gets harder to practice it in the winter. So I try to go over to another thing that I should do or I can do in the winter time. So because the water gets really cold here in Kuwait in the winter, so it's not really advisable to go into diving in that season.
It's too cold.
Of
Yeah.
course,
Diving in
I
cold.
think it's important to have various activities.
Yeah.
It's very important to change every once in a while so you don't get bored. And for you,
Exactly.
you have a different routine, one
Yeah.
for the summer, one for the winter.
Exactly.
And I would like to know, did your home background affect you in any way in these activities? Were there like a reason for you to join there?
Yeah.
Is it your brothers, something that your brother did or your dad did, such as diving? Because a lot of people, especially in sports, usually they follow their elder sibling or their father in these kind of activities.
Yeah, definitely. It was my father who I looked up to when I was younger. So, and what I'm gonna say is a true story as well. I learned swimming by my father throwing me in the deep water and return back with the boat and say, "Come back swimming to me." So we went in the water with the boat. The father drove into the water. He threw me and he came back. He said, "Come back to the beach swimming." I think I was around 3 years old at that time.
That's very young.
Yeah, so, but he wasn't like, he didn't pay attention and left me, no. He was kind of knowing that I could do it because of how he learned also swimming as well. And he tried to push me to break and go to no limit by all means. Like, don't say you can't. It was one of his rules. You can do it. Don't say I can't. Just figure out a way to do it. So I started moving with my hand and legs. Once I got past that, I looked into my father when he was going to diving. So I kept asking him to take me with him. He said, "No, you're too young. By the rules, you have to get older to go there." So
Older than 8 years old,
Yeah.
I think.
that was maybe about 5 years old when I asked him the first time. He said, "Wait for it." He let me wait until I was 11, so I could have a stronger back, let's say, because you'll get all of this weight on you. So when I reached 11 approximately, I took my first diving license at that age.
The scuba diving.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have it.
yeah.
But finally, I have it like 1 year ago, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah, but you have to practice it.
Yeah. But when I learned the swimming, my father didn't throw me.
Ah.
Because if he throw me, I will run away.
You'll probably be terrified. I think a lot of
Yeah,
people
but
usually
it's
they
the
get
legit-
terrified.
It's actually the legit way to teach your
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
A lot of people I know, they learned at the same way, which is throw your son and tell him that to come.
Yeah, you should. Not all kids' mentality have the same thing or the same way of thinking, but most of them, yes. Even for me, let's say we got in the technology world right now, so I have a kid of my own, so I was researching what's the best way to teach your son or daughter how to swim at a younger age. So when I researched it, a lot of people, a lot of places, a lot of professionals did the same method. So I understood that when my father did it when I was younger, he didn't do it just out of his head. After that, I asked him, he said, "No, I looked it up with a lot of my professional friends who teach people how to swim, and they told me that's what we do with the younger people." So then I was a little bit relaxed knowing that my father didn't intentionally wanted to kill me when I was younger.
It's really
But
special
I
thing
think
to have.
you probably knew that he
because I
was
was
trying
like
to teach
3
you.
or 4 years old.
So it was a terrifying experience,
yeah, exactly.
of course.
But when the most important part was the moment that I reached the beach, I got this closed eye that I achieved something. So in a younger age, and you reach this idea in your head that you achieved something, it's really big at that time for me, that I really did something remarkable.
Of course, and not knowing how to swim, you actually swam all that way.
Exactly, back to the beach.
Something you feel gratitude about your experience.
It's a big achievement.
Of course, and
especially at that age.
Yes,
exactly.
Of course.
But we would love to know about, since you have these many achievements and hobbies, can you tell us why did you exactly chose it at the first place? Why maybe didn't stick with only 2 and try to focus to be the world champion at it?
All right, for me, my bigger goal was to enjoy myself as much as I could. Sometimes I had this idea that I want a world champion, as you mentioned, but the thing is, if you want to go at that path, you have to focus all of your energy all year long to practice to achieve this goal. So for me, it wasn't as much as the same idea in my head, because I wanted to enjoy myself
and have fun.
Exactly.
Not maybe to accomplish
gold
medals.
I'll take it as a personal achievement, because I have a lot of my friends who don't have the same hobbies, let's say, and I saw a lot of other friends who just sit down after work, just relaxing and getting in the douaniya, as we have it here in Kuwait.
Until they sleep and then go work again.
Yeah, so it's not the best routine for me, in my opinion.
Of course, I think it's very important to have a routine that is more active than just sitting around and just being lazy. You really need to get out there sometimes, push yourself.
Exactly.
Because sometimes after work you can get really exhausted and tired.
Exactly.
So
frustrated as well. So
yes.
You need to get all of that negative emotions somewhere.
Of course, and we'd like to know more about your first dive. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, my first dive was in approximately 2012 or 13. To be honest, it's been 20 years or so. I took it with my cousin as an instructor. He pushed it a lot to put the idea in my mind how to enjoy this hobby, especially because he loved it since he was young. And when he taught it to me, I think he'd been around 20 to 25 years experience in training other people. So when I was kind of the second person in the whole family, and my family is a little big, when I was the second person or member in my family who took it, he took it upon himself to teach me everything about it, even like some step that was a bit advanced on this course. But from this moment, we went to Bneider at Sheikh Jaber Resort, which is underwater resort, was built by other divers for other people, other divers to enjoy it and go to it. Once I hit the water and saw it with my own eyes, how peaceful it is underwater, I said, okay, this is something will stick with me for the rest of my life.
This is a memory that you won't forget.
It's something magical when you hear about things, or all of us watch movies and TV series, and sometimes we see the science fiction movies, like for example Avatar, the flying castle and dragons and all of this. We can only imagine it, but when you go on your first, especially on your first dive into the sea, you'll get the same emotion when you see a movie like that. That's you're trying something new, which in my opinion, flying is the most important part about it, because once you hit the water, it's like exactly like flying underwater.
Even sometimes when you go underwater, it feels like you are flying.
Yeah.
But I would love to know more about the underwater resorts, because is it under the water? And it's like there's something there.
Can anyone go to it? Like all divers?
Any diver who know the spot, they can go to it. It's like Garo, the island that we have. It's not something restricted on anyone, but for you to enjoy it and seeing the reef under the water, you have to have your own license and you get your own gear to go under and dive and see the magical world underwater.
I would love to see it one
You have
day.
the license, so you should go.
Yeah, I have
think
the
you
license,
should definitely
but I don't know.
experience
It's
that.
2 years ago, and that's only one time that since I
Okay.
got the license, I didn't dive.
We go almost twice every week for the
Well,
whole
it's
summer.
fun.
So you can join us whenever you want.
So, since you tried one of the summer sports that's really lovely and adorable, what about the kite surfing? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, since I'm a person, a water person, let's say, and most of my hobbies allocated around the water, sometimes you can't go to the sea because of the weather. So bad weather, it's not recommended for people to go with their boats. So I thought about it a lot. What can I do if, let's say, one day I wake up and I was planning to go to, let's say, diving, and it's windy. So obviously it will be cancelled. So I found out in one of the sea expos that's been done here in Kuwait. I think it was in Marina Mall at that time. I saw this advertisement with one of the booths have this big flyer there, and it had the kite itself, and it was mentioned on it, wind, no problem, can join us. So I thought about it, and then I just went to them. I spoke with them for like 15-20 minutes. I got hooked, to be honest, because I got an alternative thing for diving if the weather wasn't that good, especially if it was windy. So once I took my first lesson, I got hooked, but the only issue was with it that you can't just wake up one day and say, hey, I want to go, because you need the wind. So if there is no wind, the forecast is good, you can't go. You'll have to wait till the forecast gets bad for other people, which equivalent for you, it will be good for me.
Yes, of course. We have a lot more questions,
Yep.
but dear viewers, we'll watch this report with Mohammed after this break.
Mohammed Zamil. Mohammed Zamil is a Kuwaiti young man with several hobbies. He's a scuba diver, kite surfer, photographer, camper, and a volunteer. He has been able to manage between these hobbies almost all of his life. He has passion and love to everything he does. He's also a father and an employee at the same time. He has been a scuba diver for 20 years, kite surfer for 8 years, photographer for 11 years, camper for 15 years, and volunteer for 7 years. Moreover, Mohammed also worked on preparing cars for camping. For example, designing and adjusting storages, water tank, lighting, drawers, and much more. Mohammed also earned many certifications to his contributions. He has been awarded with a certification of appreciation in recognition of his hard work and contribution of strengthening Divers Academy. Mohammed has also joined the Divers Academy. He participated with them in diving and lectures. Some of the activities is to dive in the beach of Kuwait and raise the Kuwaiti flag. The team has also managed to capture beautiful fish and corals. Moreover, some of the divers finding under the sea is old demolished ships. They also managed to take photos of the ships. In addition, not only did Mohammed dive in Kuwait, but also abroad. For instance, he had several dives in the Red Sea. Mohammed has also spent most of his time camping and preparing cars to go to camp. He makes sure that the car is fully equipped with everything a camper might need, such as water, strong tires, checks the car engine, and much more. During camping, Mohammed is eager to take beautiful photos. Therefore, he has specific timings such as sunset and sunrise, where he manages to take the most pretty photos. Most of Muhammad's photos show our beautiful country Kuwait. In the winter season, Muhammad is not only responsible for preparing camping cars, but also responsible to take beautiful photos. He has captured our pretty desert land with beautiful blue sky. With Muhammad's adventures, we have seen the pretty waters, skies, and deserts. He has shown us beautiful colored fish, corals, and his amazing team. It is certainly wonderful how Muhammad and his team managed to dive together and work as a team to achieve their goals. We have seen how important to take care of our land and water and keep them always clean. The beautiful water and island of Kuwait deserve our ultimate cleanliness. You have made us proud, Muhammad. Seeing such Kuwaiti energies and achievements like you is what we need.
Welcome back, our dear viewers. We're back with our guest, Muhammad. Of course, Muhammad, we'd like to know more about being a kite surfer. What are your needs exactly? Do you think that you have all the financial support that you need?
One of the things that I loved about when I first asked about kite surfing, that the budget wasn't that much comparing to other hobbies, and in the same time, like for example, jet skis need maintenance, let's say at the beginning, mid and end of the season, which costs you a lot. You have also fuel charges, you have oil charges. All of this stuff is something that goes on and on with you as long as you use this hobby or jet ski. With kite surfing, no. It's you get the kite, the board, and the harness, and you can put them all together in one bag. And it's not something only you can do it in Kuwait. You can take it, like most of my friends, especially after COVID, they took it all the way on a trip with the whole Gulf region here, all the way to Oman. All of that was done by car, which it was something new to us, that you go kite surfing on the beach by yourself without, let's say, a previous tryout of this place.
It's a good memory, actually.
And you go all the way around the Gulf.
I think that's an amazing adventure.
Yeah, exactly. So
Something
they
good to
slept
do.
at tent at night. In the morning, they wake up, they just hit the water, and they go kiting all the way till sunset. Sorry.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think
It is.
everyone should try that.
Yeah, exactly. Especially that comparing to a lot of other hobbies right now, I think, in my opinion, it's one of the lowest financial hobby that you could go with, and the same amount it will get fixed with you as long as you take care of it for like 10 years. Like for example, my kit, I took it about 9 years ago, and till this day I can use the same kit that I have without any issue.
But you have to do some service for it.
No, the most important thing is you don't leave it in the sun. You usually, if it hit the water, the seawater, you just rinse it with the fresh water, and then you keep it or let it dry in a shade place, and that's it. That's the only thing that you have to.
That's the only thing you need.
Yeah.
So what about the support of the family and friends, the emotional support?
Yeah, the thing is, I couldn't do any of that without my family support. My father, as we previously said, he was the first person who introduced me to the water, which I'm still grateful at this age. My mother didn't stop me from doing anything, even if it was a little bit extreme. She was always saying that just take care of yourself, don't do anything without overthinking it first, and just have fun. So don't take it all the way to the extreme, and then so that once you get back to me, I'll get relief. So she never mind any activity. I have also my brothers, which they looked to me when I learned all of these hobbies, but the most important thing that they don't know about, that them looking up to me was one of the things that kept me going, because I know that since I'm the older brother, I need to go on and keep challenging myself so that I can let them see other paths they didn't think about. And at the end, one of the people who really pushed me or keep pushing me till this day, my son. My son, when I see him, I see the life in his eyes. So every time I see him, I said, okay, I want to take him with me in the next adventure. Obviously, there is some adventure I can't take him at this age right now.
Of course.
But all of the other adventure, I just keep trying to let him see that there is no limit. And as my father taught me when I was younger, there is nothing impossible. Don't say I can't, think how can I do it? So I'm trying to put the same, let's say, principle that my father taught me when I was younger into my son, because I believe that it's made me the man who I am right now.
Of course, I think
Just
that's very important. We
Yeah.
saw from the reports you had your kid with you
Yeah.
in some of your adventures.
Exactly.
I think it's amazing to share that kind of experience to let him grow more, to be more brave about certain situations or certain activities.
Yeah, I want him to learn that, I don't want him to learn exactly what I learned. If he wants to, he can go for it. But I want him to learn that any hobby or anything that he have in mind, let him try it. I wouldn't mind if he go and give it a go, try it, see for himself. Maybe not the extreme from the beginning, let's say, but as he get older, inshallah, I wouldn't be the person who tell him no, you can't do that, or no, don't do it.
Of course,
Because
since he has maybe the same energy when you were like
yeah,
3 years old.
exactly, exactly.
So, and what if he wanted maybe to be majored in one type of sport and he wanted to be the world champion? Would you support him
Yeah,
financially and
obviously.
emotionally?
Anything that he wants, if it was one hobby or 200 hobbies, I'll be there for him every step of the way. If I know how to, I'll try to pave the way for him. If not, I'll try to read about it, or at least the bare minimum. I will go to him and say, hey, I want to support you. I'm not quite sure how to do it. Tell me what you need so that I can at least facilitate that it get easier for you in the future.
Of course, I think that's amazing, and I think your son, I think he appreciates what you're doing for him,
Hopefully,
of
inshallah.
course. And that kind of support is very important,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, even your family support for you as well.
Exactly.
So when we talk about kite surfing, how dangerous is this sport?
See, there is nothing about it dangerous, and at the same time, it's not that safe. So, for example, I'll give you this example. If you take a car and drive it 300 kilo per hour, is it dangerous or not?
Yes,
Of course it is.
Exactly. But if you stick to the rules and go by the Ministry of Interior rules and go with putting your seat belt, driving carefully, watching the road, driving with the speed limit, would it be dangerous at that time?
No, it wouldn't.
The risk will be
yes.
reduced. So
Yes.
most of the hobbies that I did, they have their standards of safety. Yeah, there is, let's say, a touch of danger around them, but as long as you obey the rules that's been set by other people who learned about these hobbies and put like the book and the rules about it, as long as you keep within the standard that these hobbies are related to, you will be perfectly safe.
Which is actually, I think it's good. So you love maybe the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, exactly.
But-
You'll
but
get
any
the
limit.
rush, but within the safe limits.
Yes,
like
within safe limits.
For example, with kite surf, there is 4 levels of safety. So there is this bar that you already saw in the beginning. Once you leave it, you let it go, it's like the fuel paddle in the car. 90% of the power in it, it will be get down. But let's say, for example, sometimes you get a mixed wind. So it will keep the kites in the air and keep pushing you. So your second defense, let's say, you can unhook it from the middle. Once you do that, the kite will go from 90% shutdown to 99% shutdown. And then there is one more rope in the back of you. Once you release it, you'll get disconnected 100% from the kite. That means you will get free from it, nothing attached to it. So as long as you're safe, so what we always say is don't let go unless if you see something life-threatening coming to you. So yeah, it's not cheap for the kite, but at the same time, your life is much more expensive than the kite. So you just let it go, whether it get damaged, whether it get hooked or anything else, as long as you're safe, that's the thing that's most important.
Yeah, it's really important, because my fears for the kite surfing was, what if it's push me away and then I get lost in the sea?
Yeah,
which is funny.
Exactly. First of all, some people think it's as easy as buying one online and seeing some videos on YouTube and just go practice it. You can do that, but I wouldn't recommend it, because as you said, what if something go wrong and no one told you about this small safety trick that you have to do? That's one of the things. Second of all, most people here in Kuwait, the centers that they train you, they have their boat and engine ready. If anything happens, they will come to you and pick you up and get you back to the safety.
There are many different ways to be safe.
As long as you obey them or go by those rules, you'll be safe.
So there is a question I would love to know, all of us actually. Do you see yourself as a fearless person?
I really hope so. I'm trying to encourage my son to be fearless as well. So hopefully I could be categorized as a fearless person. But I think that's for you guys to decide after seeing the report previously.
Of course, I can tell, like, you don't have that much fear as any normal person should have. Like, you go out there, you experience new activities. Sometimes it can be risky, sometimes dangerous.
Yeah, it's almost the same feeling that you get when you drive the car for the first time. What's the feeling that you got when you first drove?
Excitement,
happiness, a little bit afraid of scratching other people. What if other people hit me? So all of this emotion, the mixed emotion that you get it at the beginning. But once you get practice at it and you get used to it, it will be as easy as driving a car and going from point A to point B like you normally do right now.
And do you think that Mohammed achieved his goal yet?
No. I like to believe that I'm still way younger to achieve all of my goals right now, and hopefully even after 40-50 years old I'll still have a couple of goals that I want to try and hopefully achieve at that time.
Hopefully after you achieve different goals or different activities, we'll have you here with us again.
Hopefully,
talk about it. It was really a pleasure to have you here in the series of achievements. We learned so much from you, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me in this great show.
You're welcome. And thank you, our viewers, for watching this episode. Hope you like it and enjoyed it, and we will see you at our next episodes. And goodbye.
Goodbye.